Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? Homes, fellas, ladies, pets, nano machines, nano robots, aliens, watchers, grays, everything. Good morning to all of y'all. Everybody. We are gonna release a podcast today. I know that's what we're gonna do. We were gonna do it last night, but we just talked for a very fucking long time, which is not a bad thing because everything these guys said on this podcast was dope. You really gotta check it out. This is like a Watchmen RoundTable, but it kind of was more like a celebration. It kind of, we went deep. I mean, like, everything was on point. Everything we said was on point. Sometimes we tripped on each other a lot. Well, I tripped on Corbin a lot, and I probably threw some shots in the 44 too. But it's all good, though. I love those dudes, dog. I just be tripping on them. I trip on Corbin a lot because I know he got a good heart, and I know that shit, he can take a joke. He can trip on me too, We all trip on each other. So I'm just going to preference y'all with that because we went in last night. We went in probably on each other too. But it was all funny games because we the Watchmen, we're just cool people, man. And that's what I want to say. That's what I want to say with the announcement yesterday. With the announcement, it was like that certain. We're not finished by a long shot, guys. I think the announcement was just the beginning, but when we got that announcement, I looked across like at the finish line and see who we took that snapshot with, right? That camera snapshot as soon as you cross, and I looked at all the Watchmen. That's who I was with when one of the biggest moments in my life ever happened. I was with these guys. I looked around, dude, these are out of all the people that I went, met and hung out, chilled, whatever, digitally chilled with you, whatever. At the end of the day, I was with the Watchmen, nobody can't take that. Nobody can't take that. So these dudes, I owe a lot to. Throughout, when I really kind of want to quit this shit, and I kind of want to I was just like, man, I'll just stop doing podcasts and I'll do a video every now and then, and that's it, because I didn't want to put that much work into something that was, to me, had a lot of negative influence in it. But then, the Watchmen, every day, they pumped me, yo, get up, dog. We gotta do this. Go buy another computer. Peely, where's Go Deep? Peely, come on, what? And I did it for them boys, really, because I'm like, yo, these guys are so excited about my podcast. I can't stop. I don't know why these guys like my podcast that much. So then, when I got the fucking computer, it was them who bigged me up to give me more content to keep going. It was them, So I got them on the show last night. I'll have them on the show today too. We have, we only had half of the Watchmen last night. Today we got, probably we'll get the other half. Who knows? But this shit was so fucking dope. We just gonna get straight into it. I don't really got nothing more to say. Congratulations to everybody that was involved in making this shit happen, everybody who did one tweet, everybody who made videos from the beginning. Shouts out to all of everyone, and everyone should go also give a shout out to Totally Random, because when he wasn't in college, he was holding it down. Totally Random was holding it down for us, right? But, he had to go to school, and it's kind of harder for him to make videos now because he wants to succeed in school. And that's 100% totally understandable. So But we can't, I ain't saying he fallen, but we can't leave our fallen homies back. He ain't fall. He just had to go tie his shoe real quick. So go shout out Totally Random. Show him some love. He's George Abraham on Vera, but he's a real cool dude and he did a lot for us. And I think he got lost in the sauce. He got forgot about yesterday. I didn't hear much people say anything about Totally Random, so I'm gonna shout my dog out. Freaking George. All right, go deep. Episode 171 coming in right now. I'll probably cut it off halfway because we actually did 3 hours, 36 minutes of shit talking. We did the 214 of shit talking. So I might split it up. But if y'all want the 214, I don't know. I'm going to split it up. Why? Because we're going to capitalize on all of this shit today. Yeah, bitch. Fuck it. We about to go.
On the bottom left of the screen should be a little message board you can click on and use.
Yeah.
Oh shit, there is.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah,
thanks, Jeff.
Hey, how do you use it?
I'll stop because Gio's getting critical of me. Even though you need it.
I'm not muted. Am I muted?
What?
Okay, I'm not muted.
What?
You're not muted. Hey, how does my mic sound? Before
you sound loud and clear, bro.
Do it over and over.
Yeah, all right, cool.
All right, everybody shut the fuck up. You guys
how do we get the chat? 1 second.
Hey, can we...
Fuck up.
Can we go after live cast in this episode?
No.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, let's keep the peace down.
Everybody, like half these guys know me, so.
No, that's cool. I mean, we could say fuck them now. And then,
Nah. I'm not gonna talk shit about essential workers like kindergarten teachers, man. Like, that's not
holy shit.
That's true, Wow. Preschool is important, yo. Preschool is important.
Preschool is important.
Right. Yeah, man.
Essential workers and other people that are sorry that they're not getting free government money right now.
All right, everybody, shut the fuck up.
Sure wish we can do this podcast, guys, man. I mean, sure wish we can podcast, All right, here we go. Go deep.
There's one more guy joining.
Oh my God.
That's what I do, man. I'm fucking man.
Hey, you can't bring white folks nowhere, dog.
Nowhere.
All right, here we go.
I'll just type it up.
Here we go. Go deep. Episode 171. I got a whole fucking, I don't know what these guys are tonight, but they're here with me. I got everybody from Jeff. I got another white guy and Ben. 3 white guys in a row because DTS is on the show. He's kind of brown. That is Gio's up next. Somebody got a nice landscape of something. I don't know. Oh, that's Hamad. I mean, Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
Bruce Wayne's on. He's brown, so we're getting kind of darker. Then we got my bald-headed, cleanly shaven friend, Corbin. He's on the show also. Then we got the mask-wearing Lucha Libre Koj's on the show. We also have Manu on the show, and 44, back to the black guys. What's going on, man? Everybody say hi. We got the movie. Scream if you want to. Say whatever the fuck you want to. Ah! Okay, that was the worst.
Yeah, we fucking did it. We released the motherfucking Snyder Cut.
Fucking did it, man. It's coming out. It's like we're going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
All right, so check this
Wrestle
out.
Kingdom.
We're gonna start it off with.
This shit is like he died and woke up at a Michael Jackson concert.
In 85. No, the Dangerous Tour. Dangerous
Is that
Tour.
pre or post bleaching?
That's why I said Black Michael. You feel me?
Oh, it's Black Michael. That's awesome.
Like, oh my God.
Who is this nigga on stage?
What the hell?
I knew.
The Dangerous Tour was lit.
I knew
that's where it's at.
I knew the rule book was gonna get thrown out the window in 1 second. I knew that. I knew that. So we're gonna try to start over. We got one strike. We're gonna start over. And since the coolest guy has been in the group has been Ben W, we're gonna start with him. Ben, how you feeling, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Hey, good, man. That's it. So you're extra cool.
Dude, this whole thing's been nuts. 2.5 years, just going as hard as possible every day. No breaks, no days off. It was fun for a lot of it, but towards the end it started to get. It was a labor of love, I guess I said to Manu.
Right. And Ben, I wanna thank you, man. You know, I wanna thank all of y'all, but I'm gonna do it one by one real quick. Ben, you've been killing it, dog, forever. You know, you did a lot to get this fucking movie out, bro.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I feel like we all have.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're gonna stay on the color spectrum, the light side. We're gonna holler at my homeboy Jeff. Jeff, how's it going? Tell me how you feel, bro.
Oh, I feel great, man. I'm really emotional about stuff, but I feel like really like all that pain and all that worry and depression is gone. All that drama is just fucking off our shoulders, man. I tell you, if I wasn't so tired because I was up all night, I'd probably be through the roof. I am older than you guys. By plenty. So I get wore out a lot easier. It's weird, man. I hit like 39 and it went downhill. What am I talking about? Release the Snyder Cut!
Yeah! Ew!
That was great, man. Hell yeah.
Hey, yo, if I may interject, I think you guys have done more. I think we can stay with you guys saying your feats. You guys did a lot for the movement, you know? Yeah.
That's right.
Ben and Jeff.
Right.
Yeah.
They have. And you're right. Kojay
Holding the sign that don't you go. Sorry.
No. He has. And I was gonna say that. I called Jeff today I wrote on Instagram that Jeff was probably the second highest contributor money-wise in this whole movement. I would probably say Hamad beat you, but I haven't seen the numbers. I'm gonna just guess. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, if it is close, then it's really super close.
But he did.
Oh shit.
Hamad did throw in those 2 extra camels earlier today.
Too many.
We heard about that.
That was the best camels I've ever spent in my life. Corbin, stop.
All right,
Stop.
so we're gonna stick with you. We're gonna stick with you, Hamad. Keep going, man. How you feel today? We heard you you won over some girl's delicate heart by sending her 2 camels. It worked out for us because we got the movie in the same day. So thanks, man. God damn.
Yeah, let's not get into that. But man, it was actually really stressful. It was a really stressful day.
Yeah.
Because it's Ramadan, right? So like we're all fasting, and like when the stream started, it was like 6 p.m. our time, and we have to like break our fast at 6:15. So it was like me running around and like fixing the stream up with the Vero and the TV, and then like my daughter was crying at the side, and like food was being set on the table. Oh man, it was ridiculous.
Thanks.
And then at the end, towards the Q&A, when Snyder was like, oh, it's it's up to WB, it's up to them or whatever. I actually just felt dread. I'm like, this is over.
Yeah,
like,
I noticed that. Y'all's comments.
Yeah. And then he did that shit. I sent you the picture. I was actually literally crying.
Yeah.
Like I yelled and I started crying, and like my wife heard me and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And my brother started calling because he was watching the stream too, and it's like, and I couldn't speak to him. Like, fuck off, just leave. I know you want my reaction, but not now. man, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Right.
I still don't believe it. Like,
yeah, it is kind of unbelievable. Well, we appreciate those camels, Hamad, but I'm gonna switch it over. I'm gonna switch it over to somebody who's never on the show. I think this DTS. This is your first time on Go Deep, right?
Yeah, it's my first time on Go Deep. First time on any pod. So,
But you're a big time. You're a big time player in the movement. You kind of do a lot of work behind the scenes. Tell the fans something about you and who you are and what you've done.
Well, I am. I've been on Twitter for a long time. I didn't use it a long time ago, and I kind of got on there. I'm a financial analyst by trade, so I kind of got on there, and the reason I was on Twitter was mainly for get up financial news and stuff. But I've been into DC, probably not as long as most people in the movement. I really didn't even get big into DC and comics and stuff till I got into college. I had a friend that got me into comics, and showed me a lot of DC animated movies and got me into that stuff. And then he showed me the Dark Knight Returns, and that became one of my favorite, animated movies as well as printed comics. So. When Marvel's movies started coming out, I enjoyed those just like any other comic fan. But then, when Man of Steel came out, I was like, oh my God, this is totally different. It's like, it's framing these superheroes in our world. And I just thought that was so neat. And so, I really liked Man of Steel. And then when he did BVS, that was, the Dark Knight Returns brought to life. So I really loved that. But you could see, even for a passive fan like myself at the time, you could see what was happening out in the media, and you saw that bias. And so when Justice League hit, I started going on Twitter and I started noticing people like Fee and people like Chris and that were, trying to get this movie. And I thought, it's kind of a far-fetched thing at the time, but I joined up and started getting really passionate about it and started being loud on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
And then I guess, my big thing as far as besides, contributing to all the tweet campaigns and video campaigns and things that we've done is, I was a big part of Project Comic-Con. I helped with the banner there, but
hell yeah.
But I don't tend to put myself, I guess I put myself out there on the timeline, there's no denying that, but I don't put my work out there, my goal is to get, and whatever I've done to help that is good, but I don't really go out there and remind people a lot of that. So
nah, man, you held it down, bro. You held it down since I remember, since day one. You've been on point, and you've always been true. You've always respectable, always, man. You're a real cool dude, man. So if anybody ever got a problem with DTS, I'm riding for him no matter what the fuck he said.
Well, on the timeline, I guess I can be, a little abrasive at times, but I go back for good people who do.
He said a little abrasive.
It's like, I don't want to go drag up any of the stuff that's been going on, we've been talking about, but people know I go to bat for Ronaldo all the time, and I think Ronaldo and I could probably be at complete opposite ends of, I would say, at least the political spectrum,
Right.
But we get along I've never met the guy in person, but as far as how we've interacted on Twitter and over the past 2.5 years, we get along like best friends. And I think that's, a powerful thing, because we would have probably never talked or interacted or done anything if it wasn't for our love of DC movies and our love of Zack Snyder and our love of righting wrongs. And that's what really attracted to me to him as a figure in the movement in the beginning, because a lot of people were talking, a lot of people were, saying do this, do that. He was doing, he was like, forget all this, I'm gonna like start a campaign, I'm gonna do a letter campaign, I'm gonna do a mail campaign, I'm gonna do a call campaign. He's like, I've built this army, he wanted to find something to do with this army. That's kind of like, I think, a part of what's been, a argument in the movement over the past couple of years is, what do we do? Everyone wants to get bigger, which we did, and that's where people are writing articles, people are doing YouTubes, people are, reaching people that aren't in our fandom and bringing them in. And then we've got this big fandom. It's like, oh, but don't call people, don't write people,
right?
Don't subtweet celebrities. It's like,
right.
So you want to build an army, then you want it to sit in base, like,
right.
That's what I've really been a big part of. Is like, I think the grassroots stuff we did is some of the biggest stuff that happened in the movement. Right. It takes all three parts. It takes all the tweets. It takes the YouTubers. It takes the podcasters. It takes everything to spread that message, amplify it, and build that army. But if you don't put the army in the game, you're not going to win the war. So, I think that's, if you want to know what my mindset has been and the reason that I've done anything you've seen on the timeline, it's because I want us to get out there and use the army. And maybe sometimes it's not in the most polite way, but sometimes when somebody says some bullshit, you have to stand up and, say something about it. So,
Hell yeah. So let me ask you, how do you feel now that we got that shit released? What do you feel?
Like, I don't know, I've been building this up in my mind for like the last 2.5 years. Like, how would I react, and like, you get all these pictures in your head, like you're gonna be partying, whatever. Yeah. Of course, we didn't predict an outbreak or anything like that was gonna happen. But no, like, I'm strangely calm. Right. Like, just strangely calm. And like, I think going back to what Jeff said, like, the worry and the anxiety and the anticipation, that's gone now. So now we just have to enjoy it. So I don't know, like, I thought I'd be like running around the room screaming and stuff, but I'm really just like strangely calm and relieved and to know that we're gonna get to see this movie. And you think about like the past, like when I started getting into this to now, like all the stuff that's just happened in my life, you think about all the stuff you've done in the movement over those 2 years and those big moments, and you think like all the stuff that happened in your personal life over those 2 years.
Right. Hey.
I'm just kind of like taking it all in. It's a busy work week, so I probably, in this weekend when I'm just chilling on, it's gonna be a, holiday weekend in the States, and I'm just chilling and settled. It'll probably dawn on me like, oh gosh, this is real.
Yep. Yep. Well, I'm gonna give you props, dog. You definitely are a general in this bitch, bro. And like I said,
don't give me more credit than I'm due.
Nah, hell no, dog. You deserve that shit, bro. Straight up. But we're gonna switch it over right now to probably we got Gio up next. My bad. I see you, boss. I'm so sorry.
So what I wanted to ask you is that we have a limit of 10 in this room that we have, and I made another room on the side that should have a limit of 25 so that we can get our boy Tim in. So are you capable of just recording whatever is playing on your computer? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So like if I'm just recording. All right, I posted a link in our chat, and if you just want to pause this and switch over to that, and then all of y'all that are on this, just click that link that's in the chat, and we just switch over to Google Meet so that we can have more people.
All right, do the link again because I don't see it. I'm kind of retarded.
Sorry. I'll post the link again, and then everyone else, let me know if you guys see it. Oh no! I mean, I'm posting it in the chat of our chat.
Oh, the Watchmen chat.
Yeah.
Wait, do I gotta download this?
Are you on a phone?
Yeah. Wait, is this Meets or Hangout that you're posting?
It's Meet. It's Meet.
Oh, so it's a different one.
Is it different? Yeah. Is it? We gonna have to download something?
If you're on a computer, you should be able to just join from your browser. If you're on a phone, I do think you have to download an app.
So, all right, who's all on the phone? How many people are on the phone? Who will get kicked off real quick?
I'm on the phone.
I'm on the phone.
Yeah, so if you guys have the app, you just switch. Just download the app real quick. We'll wait for you guys on the other.
Do you is that so Tim Tap can't jump in this room?
No, we can't have more than 10 people. That's the problem. Yeah.
I see, said the blind man. I see.
Yeah, so that's the issue. I mean, if y'all just want to kick Tim Tap out and be like, we're not downloading anything.
Oh, fuck, man.
Hell no.
There's none of us right now, though, so can he join right now?
See if he can join because Hamad dropped out.
Yeah, but Hamad dropped out, I think, because he joined the other one. Is he out? Hold on. Let me see.
No, he said he would. He said a message. I think he said he would be right back.
Yeah, he said
I think he's going to be right back.
All right.
No, Hamad said he's gone for good.
Oh,
He said
Hamad's
God about do this again tomorrow. Yeah, he left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So homeboy
All right,
can take
hold on.
Hamad's spot, and we don't got to download shit.
Your motherfucking thing.
The manager.
But yeah, Tim can get in there. Then we would have a perfect lineup then.
So we good now?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we're good. Y'all
Oh,
stay.
alright.
Y'all stay. I'm gonna tell Tim and Dustin to switch over to back. Yo, Tim, you guys hear me? Hold on. I'm in two of them. Tim, you hear me? Can you switch now back into this link that I sent you? Do you need me to send you a new invite?
This is like so paranormal. Jim, do you hear me?
Yeah. No. I sent you. Remember when I sent you an invite for the thing? I'll send it again.
I can't get it on my head now. Sorry, guys.
The fucking manager.
Yeah. But
It's like a
Ahmad
Ouija
left.
board.
Ahmad left, so you can join now. Yeah. All right. I'll stay on the chat. It's just confusing to be in two meetings. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Guys, I've been drinking too much.
Yeah, shit, man. Shit, do it, man. Do it.
I had
It's a celebration day.
I had to count every single one of y'all. I was like, 1, 2.
Like with his hands and shit, with his fingers.
My fingers were there. My fingers were there. Tim's just fucking shit up. What are you doing?
Yeah. Y'all see what type of management Go Deep is under right now? You see this shit?
Oh, okay, we do it.
No, next time, all y'all on your free time need to download Google Meet so that we could do meetups with more than fucking 10 people.
Right.
It's free.
Why do you want a podcast with more than 10 people?
Because that's how we roll.
Yeah.
We roll deep.
We'll go deep.
Yeah, you're right. We will need it because Will said he's gonna join tomorrow, and Hamad said he'd probably be back tomorrow. So that'll be
So we're gonna need it. I want let's celebrate.
We probably
All right,
will.
for sure.
We got a good system here. People are listening, sort of.
Hey, you guys see that podcast that the Exiles dropped? It's an interview with Ray Porter.
Yeah, it's all good. I plan on checking that out.
It dropped about 15 minutes ago.
Wow.
Talk about it.
That's crazy.
So this.
And in the link it says Dark Side, so he's come out, dude.
Dang, our dark side.
Manu, you know about this? You didn't tell us.
What?
Hold on.
The hella secrets.
Yeah, spill them now. Now that it's out, spill them out. Spill the secrets. You'll get clout out of it. Let's go, buddy.
I don't want clout.
Hey guys, may I
I got
interject?
99 problems.
Koj wants to interject. Koj wants to say something.
Go for it.
Yeah. So, hey, we're still recording. We're still go deep, right?
Yeah, we're still rolling.
All right.
Okay.
So, I just sent the news to Ramesh, and he just replied to me, and I said, hey, you guys, Ramesh, this is a celebration day. You have anything you want to say to the guys on Go Deep right now? So he just sent me, say that I am honored and thankful to know all the guys who put their hearts into it, especially to everyone who stuck it out till the end. Golden Heart from Ramesh.
I love him.
Wow, man. Shit, man. Love you too, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, he listens to Go Deep, so say something, man.
Man,
I love you, Aya. So there you go, Ramesh. Boom.
we love you, Ramesh. We all love you,
Much love,
dog.
man.
Straight
Much
up.
love.
Yeah.
Miss you, man.
Much love, man. Much love, man.
Yo, Ramesh, your art is incredible and has been missing from my timeline, and I miss you so much, brother.
You coming back? You coming back? You gonna do something?
Well, where the fuck is Tim? What is he doing?
Well, Ramesh is working on my movie, so you'll definitely see his work soon. Okay.
Listen at her.
Hey, it's Ramesh the Silva.
Yeah. He
Wait.
does.
Wait, you know I've been working on this.
Hold on.
No, you knew this.
Hold on. I thought you were watching a movie.
Oh, no.
He said, I thought you were watching.
What, this whole time?
Yeah, I thought he was working on it.
Oh, no. This is a long project, and
Like
I'm really
some kind
blessed and
of
happy.
torrent or something.
No. This is a long project I've been working on since as far as the movement has been.
Is this where we go deep?
I'm glad to have Ramesh with me, and I'm blessed.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Ramesh is working on it, and to Ramesh.
Hold on. Chill.
Is this the place? Is this the place where we go deep?
Oh my god.
Incredible! Wow!
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
Oh shit!
Yo, fuck, man, what's up, bro?
Oh man, what?
It really sounds like we're in the same room, and you just came through the party door. Welcome, man.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here with you guys.
Oh, man.
Good to have you, man.
Good to have you, man. Shit.
Well, I know that voice. Is that V?
That is Ronaldo.
Yeah, man.
That's
Fuck yeah, it is, bro.
Is that V? V, I haven't heard from you in ages.
Yeah, like in a whole 3 hours.
What's up,
Oh
man?
man.
I'm good, man. Just got done editing that Ray Porter interview that we've just done. So that's up now. Anyone wants to go and hear exclusive interview with Darkseid himself, you can go and check it out.
Let's go wrap this up and go listen to that.
You mean you're more interested in Ray Porter?
Listen at her.
Ray Porter's awesome, man.
He is.
I can't believe I got to meet him. I love you, Chris.
Hey, this is Corbin, man. Hey, man, you already know what it is, bro. Man, love you to death, man. I'm so glad you back, man. I mean, you came back. Shit took fucking fire, man.
Well, I didn't wanna not be around when something big was gonna happen, did I?
No, definitely not.
Did you think it was an accident that I returned now?
Remember he's in the know and shit?
Yo, Fernaldo.
Oh, man.
Fernaldo, so you've been like the biggest name in the movement for the past maybe 3 or 4 months, dog. I know you know that, but how do you feel surviving this shit?
And I've not been here for about 2 of them.
Right?
I've just been minding my own business, taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Bit of R&R and come back a little bit more refreshed for the final furlong.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how
You feel good now, brother? You feel less stressed and all that?
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Nothing keep me down.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
fuck all
good,
that,
man.
fuck all that bullshit, man. For real, like, man, that shit had me heated.
So we won, man. We won, guys.
Yeah, we got it, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, boy. How does it feel?
I'm still feeling it. I don't know.
Oh
Man.
Unbelievable.
It
It
is.
feels grand. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like this is a feeling that's gonna last for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
Experience for real.
You've changed Hollywood history.
Yes.
You've done something that has never been done before. So you should be extremely proud of the achievement. Like we've set a trail that others will follow. That studios will now realize. Like, set aside the Justice League. Zack Snyder's always had films that have been tampered with, and no studio is ever gonna tamper with any one of his films ever again because they know what's coming.
Hell yeah.
Thank God.
Oh shit, dude, I'm feeling it right now, bro.
We have made Zack Snyder untouchable. He's gonna have final cut on all of his films from now on.
Holy shit, bro! Oh my god, I'm crying. 5 years. Oh shit.
Is that dead ass? That's dead ass?
Dead ass, bro.
Christy,
Dead ass, B. Dead ass, B.
Man, that's contagious. You stop that.
Yeah, man, don't do that. Get off me, man. Fuck, bro.
Hell yeah. Hey, this is fucking go deep, baby. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, nigga. Oh shit.
As a person that gets to enjoy his films, that means the world to me.
I need tequila.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely like that is a fact. Zach's films are absolutely untouchable from this point on, and like what we've done is setting a standard for how. I mean, think about where we are in the film industry, right? We're at this point where everything's shifting to like streaming, and like nobody knows what's gonna happen with theaters. Like we're in this weird place, but like. What we did today, we said, look, the movies that we're going to watch are the films that creators make. Like, that's what we're going to watch. Mm-hmm. And we will not shut the fuck up until you shut them up.
Yeah, we got to see all that, everything. Right. Don't leave nothing out.
Let me ask y'all, though. Real quick. And I want 44 to say something because we haven't had him talk hardly yet. What do we do next? Because like DTS said, it is kind of like a quiet surrealness, like a calmness. And I think that's because we know we got more work to do, y'all. I'm going to let 44 speak on it. What do you think we do next?
Well, I think we keep going, you know. There's definitely still more work to do, like, because I also feel like, in a way, we brought back fandom and we've given fans a voice again, you feel what I mean? And also on top of that, to be more specific, you feel me, we brought back DC fandom when DC fandom has pretty much been dead for like almost a decade at this point. A few more years gone by, DC fandom would have been dead and we would have been overtaken by Marvel fans.
Seriously.
To be honest, like, and now we have a chance to like rebuild and really bring light back into this fandom, and you feel what I mean? Bring speculation back, good speculation, bring positivity back. You know, keep these films alive and show the studios in Hollywood that this is what we want. Like, we kind of have a fresh start in a sense. So, like, our job isn't done. You feel what I mean? Because we got to, like, a lot of people already keep saying, like, there's still the Ayer cut. There's still other films and projects that people want to see. People still want to see that solo Batfleck film. People still want to see that Cyborg film and other things down the line. Like, Joe Manganiello was teasing, you know, Deathstroke versus Batman, you feel me, today, right. You know, so, and all these things are going to benefit in the future for us and people in the future and the kids now that are going to grow up to have these movies and have a good experience in this fandom. That's
okay,
what
so let me ask a question now.
Yes, sir.
If you can, so basically now what we're getting is we've turned the clock back to 2016, right? So BVS has just come out and now we know in the next year, we're going to get Justice League. Yeah. The original plan was after Justice League, then you're going to get a Cyborg film, you're going to get a Flash film, you're going to get Green Lantern film. If you had to pick one of the original slate that you can bring back, what do you choose?
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Cyborg, without a doubt.
I would say Cyborg too. I would choose Batman, but you know, only because I feel like Batman would get so much burn in Snyder's run that Cyborg would probably be the best one, and you can most likely maybe throw Flash in there too.
That's a great point. Also, I think Ray deserves it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Man, yeah.
Ray has basically, like, he put his career on the line, to be perfectly honest. He didn't have what Gal and Momoa had, which were like their movies doing well. You know, he didn't have that. And it's not like he had like a bunch of other projects. And
basically went against the studio's wishes and put all of the support behind Zach. And you gotta, like, he just showed so much strength, courage, and humility, and honesty, and loyalty. Like, he should be rewarded for that. He really should be.
Fuck yeah, man. Easy.
Right. I agree. Corbin, take that. What you feel, dog?
Man, well, first off, I just want to say, man, like, thank you for just being, like, incredible as human beings, like, and even beyond that. I mean, this is, I mean, I value you guys to, like, a degree that you don't even know. I don't even think I fully realize how much you've impacted my life, y'all. And I just want to say, this is like a big moment for me, you know what I'm saying? Because, it's growing up, as a military brat, you know what I mean? It's been really hard, like, trying to, like, find friends because they kind of psychologically damage you. You meet a friend, you have a friend, and then all of a sudden you have to go to a different place. So, like, to actually, like, meet real dudes and shit and actually, like, start to, like, develop friendships this late in life is really amazing to me. And that's just a testament, not to just, perseverance, but also to, like, how great you guys are. Because, I mean, you guys have made it very easy to do that because y'all are just great people.
Word.
But beyond that,
let me say you're a great person as well, man. And I love that you and everyone else here is coming to my life.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you, man. I really respect and honor y'all's friendship, especially you two, man. I mean, it's been real big. Yeah, like, I mean, there's been times, like, it's been hard, but you know what I'm saying, like, you jump in my inbox, we talk and shit, and then, like, and then I'm right back in the saddle, and I really appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even get that shit from family, like blood family, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, Vin. You know what I'm saying? It even had moments with Jeff like that, you know what I'm saying? It's been kind of crazy. But anyway, back to it. I'll just say that, like, this is crazy. I just want, like he said, we've done something in Hollywood history that has never happened. Went up against the giant and fucking took it down. They tried to stomp us out. It didn't work. And now they got to deal with us. But not only that, I think this is, like, the first thing that I was saying this in the chat room, the first time that anything has happened like this that I can think of in modern history that hasn't been orchestrated or planned to, like, to benefit the hierarchy. Right. This is the first time that something happened and it wasn't a part of the plan and we fucking won. Exactly. Like, we changed. We're in a different, like, right now we're in a different reality. But here's the thing, expect shit to get way weirder, way crazy, but it's all gonna be good though. It's all gonna be good.
Damn.
Yeah. We stepped into something else.
I feel you. Hold on.
But Cyborg though. Cyborg, you want me to go into that?
Hold on. No, I'm gonna bring it back to you because you had a nice little pause. So that pause is gonna allow Homeboy to jump in. Then I'll bring it back to you, and we can talk more about Cyborg. But my management is texting me and say talk to Ben. So I have to do that and ask Ben a question. Ben, what's going on, dog? How you feeling? Management wants me to talk to you. Apparently, you got something to say.
Management, huh? All right. Oh man, I'm just kind of taken aback right now. Like, I want to enjoy this a lot, but I realize that at the same time, we kind of got to keep the foot on the pedal, keep moving forward, because I think the air cut's right around the corner, and I know there's a lot of projects we can pull back from Hollywood shelves and just bring it back up. I'm kind of curious though, what do you guys think about the rest of Zach's plan for Justice League? Do you think any of that's on the table at this point?
Let Vinaldo answer that.
I'm the pressure on.
I'm the only one who's not allowed to speak on this issue.
Oh wow!
All right. Let me.
All right, Manu.
Well played.
Let me speculate.
All right, go ahead.
I have a few interesting thoughts rolling off of our interview for Sean, where he's got a year now, right? To 2021. He's got $20 to $30 million apparently. And we all know that Zach knows what to do with his money, and he just made an epic fucking zombie flick for $100 million. So I think what we're up against right now is that
90 mil. Army was 90 mil.
90 mil, yes.
90 mil. So even less. So I think what we're looking at now is that, like, I think that he's taking because we knew at one point he had a Snyder Cut that was done 214 minutes. He's now adding to that. So this is like Chris, you said you couldn't talk.
He didn't talk.
Got something in my throat.
I like that.
Well, do you think he's gonna wrap it up in a different way then, Chris?
That's what I was thinking.
All right, here's what I think. All right, so I think what you're saying about the money is a big deal. So I always estimated that in terms of unfinished VFX, what that would cost, and the tiny little pickups that he would have needed, probably would be around. So I thought the VFX would be around between $5 and $12 million. That's what I thought, just based on pure mathematics, no inside knowledge. Just I did a thread about it, and that's what I came up with. It's just a range between 5 and 12, based on what we know, screenshots, modeling costs, etc. Now, if it's true that they're giving him 20, you could probably guess that, let's say 10 of that is unaccounted for. I mean, you don't need millions of dollars to get Harry Lennox to stand in front of a green screen, right?
Right.
So it's not going towards that. So just purely on a speculation standpoint, why not? Like, if you've got 10 million to play around with extra, even if it's 5 million to play around with extra, don't forget that Zach made 300 with, what was it, 65 million?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Watchmen with
85.
85. So Zach could do a lot with another 5 million. Let's say it could be an extra scene, an extra 2 scenes, if he wanted to, you know. And that's all purely speculation. But yeah, it's a like, if you think about it logically, if he's getting 20 million and he only needed between 5 and 12 to finish the 214, what's the other few million for?
I mean, he's written that on the clapper, right? That scene.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going. Like, I mean, so at this point, you know, where does this movie lead to something else? Does this movie, like, at one point when this movie was shot, you know, it had a certain trajectory, and now we're at a different point where we don't know what the trajectory is. We do know that he wanted to have a 5-part epic, and we do know that maybe it could lead to a further relationship. I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I wanted to jump in earlier when you guys were talking about, you know, what do we do next? And I heard Ben say, let's go for Air Cut and getting all of these other projects off the ground. But I have to say that I don't think that we're done with the Snyder Cut. Like, yeah, we got the announcement that it's released, but I think that we still need to do our part to make sure that it's a success when it is. I think that we got to continue hyping this movie up. I think we have to continue telling our story. I think we have to continue to let the word out about what happened and what took place, because this is the thing that I'm seeing. Bloggers are coming towards us now. They're starting, and what we can do, we can't allow them to take the narrative away from us. And I think that if we're not careful, what happened in 2016 can happen again.
Yes.
I think that we have to be very vigilant. We have to stay strong, and we have to hold on to our narrative, because I'm seeing it already. Like, people that were against us before, people that talked us down, now they want to come to the fandom. They'll know, oh yeah, who are the big names in the fandom? Who should I talk to? And I totally understand that it's something that everyone has worked hard for this, and everyone wants to feel accredited, and everybody wants to feel honored for this. But I think that what we have to do is, when God is here, and we need to continue to do what we're doing, because if we're not careful, then it could be lost. Like, not in the fact that, oh yeah, they're not going to release the Snyder Cut, but the fact that we were able to take control of our narrative, that was something that was really powerful and important to even get us to this point. I think that a lot of the work that Chris, Fiona, and a lot of other people in this chat have done was towards that. Like, Pilly having Go Deep, and all of the shows and podcasts and websites that have popped out throughout the movement over the last few years, including the Exiles and the film Exiles, all that stuff. It mattered and it's important, and we need to keep our foot on that gas on telling our story and not letting others tell it for us.
Yeah, you were
That's right.
Spot on, spot the fuck on.
Dope. All right, so check this out.
Yo, if I may interject real quick.
Right.
This is for Vinaldo, because Ramesh is still texting me. He wants me to tell you, Vinaldo, hello, and he was about to mail you. So he sends his love.
I love that boy, man. I've said it many times to him and about him that, okay, I don't like attributing an amount of credit, because I think that's where we're going now with the fandom, like who did what, and I've never liked that kind of behavior. But when I look in my heart and I think of who could we be here without and who couldn't we be here without, one of the people we couldn't be here without is Ramesh. And honestly, like, when you're trying to change, or when you're trying to capture the hearts and minds of people, the first place you go is to an artist. And if you can capture their mind with art, sometimes you can't capture people's minds with words. You can't convince people with words, but you can convince people with images, with videos, with music. So, and Ramesh was there every day, no days off, constantly working. And honestly, we wouldn't be here today without him.
Right.
Yeah, you grounded it out.
100%. I agree. Shout out to Ramesh, man. I have nothing but respect for Ramesh. 100%. He's been a cool dude, and he's put in probably the most. I mean, he put in a shit ton of work. Those pictures are professional style, and he just giving them to us.
We looked out.
Yeah.
We looked out. Like, look at that billboard on San Diego Comic-Con. Look at the bus shelter at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
Look at the flyers. Look at the adverts in Hollywood. Was it THR? I think it was THR. Look at the New York Times Square. Yeah. He put an idea into practice, and then Chris Dawson as well. What a guy! Like, Chris Dawson animated that, and I said it before, that changed the perspective of Warner Brothers. That piece of art. Right. So you can't. If you're gonna do anything like this again, you need artists.
Right.
Yeah. That billboard was pivotal, and like, we had a little chat about that yesterday, because when we were talking to Sean and just some of the stuff that was going on at that same time, and we were just matching up some timelines, and we realized, like, that billboard, I think, changed a lot of things. Like, that billboard was sort of like a very butterfly effect, sort of like people saw that made a monumental change.
I've actually got the sketches. Of me like the idea of how it would be animated and what would be on it. And I remember scribbling it down with Lupe. I went round to Lupe's one night and I was like, yo, how are we gonna do this? I've got this idea. He said, maybe that don't work. So in the end, I got down to this sketch, just gave those storyboards like Zach, like.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, you sound like Zach on one of his director's cuts.
I just gave him. Yeah, but here's the thing. I gave him these rough sketches, and he turned it into something magical. And then Chris Dawson made it move. He made it alive. You know, you can't do. And I find it amazing that we have essentially brought about a new piece of art with art. You know, that was the thing. But also, we have to remember every single person that donated $1, you know, $5, $10, any amount of money, they made that happen as well. Every person that tweeted to share, like everyone contributes. Everyone contributed in such a wonderful way, and honestly, it's just a victory for every single one of us.
Oh, I agree. Like all of the tweets, everybody that took the time to tweet, that talked about it with a friend, or that, you know, tried to just bring it out into their real lives. Like everyone, like this is a win for everyone. Like everyone in the movement had a role to play in this, even if they don't really fully realize that. I mean, you know, I know that as human beings we have a tendency to like look up to like certain people, but it's every single person doing what they did every single day. That's what made the difference. Like, you'll hear a lot of talk in the coming weeks and months about November 17th, and none of that would have been possible if not everyone was playing their part. If not everyone was tweeting and retweeting and just being a part of that. And those events are not easy. Those events are hard, and they take time. And you know, you take away time from your family and from your friends in order to be at your phone and fight for this.
Right.
And it's even crazier to think about that you're doing it for, and you have no guarantee that what you're doing is actually leading anywhere. You know, we had a lot of starts and stops and ups and downs over the course of this movement. You know, and like it's really powerful that we got this done and that we did it by not giving up and by just just keep like reinventing the wheel and like coming up with new and crazy and fun and innovative ways to do it. Like, I'm sorry, but I want to take like a little bit more time because I want to talk about this the last time I came on. But V, I hope you don't mind. Can we tell the subway story about how that came up?
Yes, please do.
I'm not the kind of person to censor anyone.
Unless you censor yourself from giving up goodies and shit, then he might get in trouble for leaking out. Yeah.
If it's a sensitive name, just say redacted.
I love this story. I love this story because it's like what V just talked about. It's about these ideas coming from nothing, and then from just like these scraps, you like create something that excites people. And I remember this was around the holidays. Back in December, and Fiona was around at that time, and we were in our Exiles group chat, and we were just talking smack or whatever. I forgot what we were talking about. And then Fiona was like, "I'm hungry. I'm gonna order some food. I'm gonna order Subway." And then everybody kind of chimed in, and it was like, "Nah, Subway's whack. I prefer Potbelly." Like that's how it went down. Like, so everybody was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. I prefer this. I prefer from that spot." And then V was like, "Yo, Subway. There's something here. There's something here." And then just from that conversation that we were having in the group about who had the best sandwich, V came up with this incredible idea about using Subway and like feeding hungry families, and it was so easy to do. We just said, "Give us what it was like 5,000 retweets." Yeah, what the fuck is 5,000 retweets to the Snyder Cut canvas? Like, it's like 5,000 retweets. Shit, we'll do that before noon.
Right.
I think we did it in like less than an hour. You know?
And then they bumped it up to 214.
Right.
That's when they said you guys are fast.
And that was such a huge moment. And again, it's what I was talking about. It like shifted some of the narrative around the Snyder Cut, the Snyder Cult, as some people will call it. It switched the narrative. Like, yo, these guys are doing good. And like, the more good you do in the world, the harder it is to ignore you.
Right.
And then it's just so amazing that idea came from Fiona saying, I'm going to order Subway. You know, like, I just love that. Like, it was just a random evening. We were just talking about food. And this man took that idea and turned it into an event. And I think that's things that you saw happening throughout the movement. Like, it was really awesome to see that.
Well, I think there's another one. Like, when you guys were talking about the billboard, this is one of my favorite, like, just funny little coincidences. So I'm from New York, and I saw the billboard. I was there. I was ground crew, whatever. So I saw it, and I messaged Chris afterwards, and I was like, Chris, do you realize that the billboard is dead facing, like, it is the most direct billboard across from where WB always promotes their movies, and they don't have a movie right now. But if they did, we would have had the ReleaseTheSnyderCut billboard facing directly whatever the fuck. And I sent them a picture, I think, of like Aquaman, the Aquaman premiere, like that was the last one that I had there. And I was like, Chris, did you know that? He's like, nah, I didn't know that just happened. And I still don't believe you, but
Do the crowd, a full crowd.
You want the truth? I didn't know. The truth is I didn't know. Sometimes in these things you have a stroke of luck, and luck shines on you, and you know, you always need a little bit of luck in these things. Nothing is, you can plan, but without a bit of luck, you know, it's worthless. Like, for example, Ray Porter, how that fell on our lap. We can't really say how that fell on our lap, but again, that was just another little bit of luck. And the Sad as well, that was just another bit of luck. Like, you need to be lucky, and thankfully we've just been in the right place at the right time on some of the things, and yeah.
I don't think that's an accident. I don't think it was an accident that we got.
No.
We were on the right side.
You make your own luck. You make your own luck.
I don't think we were on the right side of this thing. We were on the right side. It's almost like, you know, like it was destiny. It was like, it kind of has to feel that way now.
It's very serendipitous for sure.
You can call it that.
All right. Yeah. I want to introduce Tim because he just showed up. My homie Tim Tapp is in the building. Tim.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the one who struggles with apps.
Behold.
Nice to speak to you.
Hear me.
So Tim, I just want to say real quick. Tim, you have everyone angry at me that I'm abusing my manager powers over here, but I was trying to get you into the chat.
Petey, where can I file a complaint? Where's the email?
We'll talk later. We'll talk later, my friend.
Karen Tapp.
Human resources of Goldie.
Karen Tapp.
I got my LinkedIn photo and everything.
Hell yeah.
But it's really a pleasure to hear you all the knowledge, Dr. Chris. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Pleasure to speak with you as well, man.
I was just listening, and it's like I like hearing this kind of stuff and all the stuff, the stories you guys are explaining. It really, from the optics outside, I think it shows people, even those who deride us, that there's a strong air of professionalism. There is a delivery to, like, you know, the New York City Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic-Con. There is a finish, like that billboard, you know, the bus station sign, those things, they, like, you know, Ramesh and Chris Dawson, like you said, there's a professional finish to them. It doesn't look like, you know, a lemonade stand on the sidewalk. You know, we know what we're doing.
We've been very lucky in having some incredible people in this fandom, and I had absolutely nothing to do with San Diego Comic-Con, and I just saw it, and it inspired, you know, what people like Alessandro did, Will, people that that even, you know, we can't all get along with everyone all the time, but even people like Eric, who done incredible work. I think Midside was down there as well, and Ben was down there as well. Who else? DTS, Dustin, you were doing you did the plane banner there, and seeing all of that from the outside, it was really awe-inspiring, and that's how the New York Comic-Con idea came with the Times Square. So it was, we all build off each other, we all inspire each other, we all help each other, you know, and that's the beauty of this community. For the most part, we have worked together for the vast majority of the 2.5 years that we've been doing this thing. And we shouldn't forget the great memories that we had early on because of some issues we may have had later. Everything from the first day until the last got us to where we are today. And every single person who's participated in helping this community. And there's a lot of people that I've not got along with, and that was never personal from my perspective. It's more of an ideological thing.
Right.
So I don't want to mention any names, but it was never any issues I've ever had with people has never been a personal thing. It's always been an ideological thing. And I hope that now that, you know, we've basically won, all of us as a collective, we've won. We can all enjoy this. We don't have to be friends or celebrate together and pat each other on the back, but we can show a mutual respect for the work that each other has done. So I'm hoping that we can forge into a new future with that memory that we have all participated in this thing, and we have all worked together and won, and that's more important than any squabbles or issues we may have had.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you look from like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, real quick, I was gonna say like that, you look at today, in like what, say, maybe an hour, half an hour, we jumped to like triple digits, like we were up to like 500, like on ReleaseTheSnyderCut, the hashtag. We zipped by what we did on the.
That'll happen when Zack Snyder tweets out, "Release the Snyder Cut."
Yeah, like within the hour, we were like 124.
Right.
Warner Brothers, every outlet is using our hashtag. We were a joke. Like, no, like, let that sink in. We were a fucking.
I mean, it's true. I mean, they did look down on us, yeah.
No, they didn't doubt us. They made fun of us.
They ridiculed
Dogged us.
It was dirty.
Bro, we were a punchline. We were a punchline.
Yo, Manu, let me ask y'all real quick. And y'all kind of brought it up, and we spent the hour letting y'all show how classy and cool and every perfect gentleman y'all are. But I'm just now learning, and my people won't be cool with me if I didn't ask this question. Were y'all in beef like the whole time? Like, what's going on there? Like, did people just?
Who are you asking?
Like the movie. Like, I'm really asking for Naldo.
I've been in beef with Manu since day one, man. I can't
Yo, check this out. I'm really asking for Naldo because, yo, Vinaldo, check this out, and I'll be real, man. After that shit we went through, and then me just speaking up for you has made me so many more friends than me not. But then now I'm getting all these people that just telling me these Vinaldo stories over and over and over. Vinaldo this, Vinaldo that. But like I thought I knew Vinaldo, but I didn't know shit about Vinaldo. Vinaldo, what the fuck? What have you been doing, dog? What's going on?
He moves in mysterious ways.
And again, I don't want to mention any names because I don't find it dignified. But what I'll say is every person that I've had a problem with and who have had a problem with me, we've initially started out as friends. So and you can go back to 2 years ago, again, I don't want to mention names, but go back to 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I always seem to find myself in problematic waters, let's say, in troublesome waters. So maybe a big portion of it is my fault as well. Maybe I'm a difficult character to get along with, but that is never from a personal point of view. It's always from a professional point of view. So I try and keep out of any personal slanging or anything. Now, that's all I have to say, really. I started out as friends with loads of people, and I'm sure they're all. And honestly, I'm sure everyone who I've had a problem with is really a great person. I can't say that I've known them on a personal level to the degree that I know Manu, for example, or I hope to get to know each and every one of you guys eventually throughout the years. But everything I've done is from the perspective of there's only one thing that matters to me. There's only one thing that I'm interested in, and it's getting that film. And if you and to be honest, I know I'm very difficult to work with. If you don't follow the path that I believe to be right, I'll give you a chance to convince me otherwise. And many times I am convinced otherwise. But if you can't convince me, you can't expect me to accept a position that I don't think is the right one.
Right. Well, not just like in beef and shit, because a lot of people like Manu hit me up to tell me how much he likes you. A lot of people are riding for you, dog. So it's like now I'm hearing stories like, yo, homie don't even go to sleep, like he touched my heart, all this kind of shit. Like,
I've got to be up in 5 hours. I've got to be up in 5 hours.
Can I say one? Can I say one Chris story that, like, in this whole time I've gone back and forth because Chris doesn't like when you give him appreciation for like stuff. He wants to just do his own thing. He's not looking for I don't know what the word, but like he's not looking for accreditation or anything. But he's not looking for recognition or anything. But something that's like pretty public. Like, all right, I work with Chris to do New York Comic Con. Everybody knows that. Like, it's not like news to anyone. And I just finished doing a podcast for ReleaseTheSnyderCut talking about how nervous I was, like, going into that and all that stuff. And, like, Chris was fucking coaching me, like, the whole way, like, DMing me and, like, shit like that. And just out of fucking circumstance, like, it happened to be that I was doing Friday, and Friday was the day that we were handing the T-shirt to Rob. And, like, Chris fucking gave me every instruction to, like, make sure that happened right. Like, he was just like, dude, this is you. Like, I could have been anyone. And he's like, he put his trust into me. Like, people ask, like, oh, why would you back someone up like that? Like, oh, he said something about Patty Jenkins. Like, fuck that shit. Like, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Like, okay, he said something about Patty Jenkins. Like, that's his fucking opinion. Like, I don't understand how that.
I'll address that stuff. I'll address that.
Let me finish. I was like, it's about Patty Jenkins.
It's basically pineapple pizza affair. You like pineapple? Oh man, you got some nerve.
Does Patty eat pineapple? Go ahead.
That's all it took.
Let me finish. But he'll just put out his opinions, and out of anything. Yes, I respect the shit out of him for everything that he did to me, like, to coach me through that. And, like, just, I've talked to him throughout, like, Chris has been here since fucking day one. Like, I talked to Chris, you know, interjectedly, but like didn't really talk to him until we were working together near Comic-Con. But like I seen him run all these like fucking campaigns and shit, like never looking for credit, but whatever. I worked with him directly. Like this dude was a brother to me. Like he fucking coached me through the whole. He put so much trust into this random person. He's just like, dude, you volunteered. This is a good opportunity for you. Take the credit for it. Like the whole time, he's like, I don't want. Like, don't say my name at all. Nobody knew that Chris was involved until like the people that were involved said that Chris was involved.
Yep.
That's who Chris is. Right. That's who he is. And he'll fucking yell at you for saying that, that he was involved.
Selfless service. Selfless service, man.
He's like Clark at the beginning of Man of Steel.
This is only one small example. There's so many other things that Chris has done for me that are private, and that's whatever. But like that's why I back him up. Fuck you for just like having these weird fucking opinions on people on just a fucking tweet that he has. Like I respect the shit out of Chris that he can just tweet whatever he wants and he doesn't care. Like that is having fucking integrity. Like he owns his opinions. How many fucking people have we met in this movement that one day are like, oh, fuck these Snyder Cut people, and then the next day are like, oh yeah, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Yeah, that's cool. Like fuck those people. I want to talk to people that fucking own their opinions. So that's why that man deserves the respect that he deserves. Chris, you can take it wherever you go. You can explain whatever you want for Patty. We don't know her shit, but whatever.
Well, he's a manager, so he'll have him edited a certain way. So fuck it.
Well, and then after that, I want to talk about Harley Quinn.
Hold on.
Cut this out.
Hold on. Check this out.
I wanted to say something. Chris mentioned earlier about how we had to work together for like the past 2.5 years, and he's right. And the reason for that is that we had no choice, because we had nobody else. It was just us. Right. There was nobody on our side. The studio was against us. The media was against us. Like even other DC fans were against us. If you really think about it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like, all we had was each other. And honestly, like you can see it in the bonds that have been built. Like, you know, I talk about you guys. I tell you guys remind me a lot of our crew, the Exiles, and how we got started. Like you guys remind me of that. You know, and that's the thing, is because when you're, again, I'm gonna have to use this word, but when you're at like war, because that's how it felt a lot of the time, and you're in you look at the people that are in your foxhole, and you can't help but like build like a kinship with them, and I think that how we got how we became a community. All we had was one another.
Well, I like that, and I like y'all boys in the show, and I appreciate y'all talking, but y'all not about to hijack a Spartan Watchmen show. There is some Spartans still in this bitch, and we about to talk to Koj, because we haven't had Koj on the show for a minute. So Koj, throw it in, man. How's you feeling? What's going on? I know you spoke, to Ramesh a little bit while it's going on, but how you feeling about the day, pretty much? How you feeling about the last 3 years? Everybody been showing love to, Vinaldo, deservedly so. If you got any love to show Vinaldo, please do. But tell us a quick wrap up of how you feeling.
Shit, man. Well, first I was at work, so I got in parts. So I had time to like force it down and take it not all in, but it is overwhelming, and it feels like a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. Right. And I feel like it's a big win. I don't feel it's a victory yet, though, even though I'm super, super happy. It's just because I don't know, this thing has been really special. And the only way I could describe it is like maybe in like pro wrestling. I feel like we were like the character going after the title being Snyder Cut, right? And I feel we've been going through all these hits, the fans against us or the masses against us or whatever. And we've had these little wins by doing good stuff to try and prove we're not anything but sincere in what we believe in or we're fighting in. And we've had little wins come up and hit us. And I think this is a really big, beautiful win that it's coming out. But we still don't have it yet. It's like, okay, we are going to go to the big show.
We won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. We won the Royal Rumble. The title chance is ours when it comes out. And we have it, like really have it. It's going to be our title. And just like in pro wrestling, it's how you rock it. Are you going to be those who shove the towel in people's face? Are you going to hold it proud, cocky, or wear around your belt and just be yourself and be confident and good in all it represents? So I think each win continues even after we get the title. We got to keep promoting, release Zack Snyder's Justice League. We got to keep it good and strong till we get there. And the good thing about today is like we won the Royal Rumble. It's like, it's a big acceptance win day. Everyone, all the naysayers, they can just chill out. And if they come at you, you don't even have to attack them. You don't even have to defend hard. Just keep doing good things and promote the Snyder Cut, because we got this #1 contender or title around our belt that we've earned. It's like respect, and we have to keep strong in our way for the cut, constantly beginning, middle, and end, because this is going to spawn other stuff, because this is like our own fandom, our own culture. We have special events now. We got a community. We unlocked all these other allies, in the game onto it. So it's a beautiful beginning, and I feel like we don't need to defend ourselves as harsh anymore when people are like, it doesn't exist. Right. Get over it, Yeah, facts defend themselves. It's like nothing can faze us, It's like, y'all watch Batman the Animated Series?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, so remember Day of the Samurai, that's when he went back to Japan to fight Kyodai, the ninja. And then there's this moment where Bruce Wayne is like, oh man, I've won with myself, I know what I'm doing. And Kyodai's just throwing these punches and he just bitch slaps him around. Unfazed, It's the coolest shit. Watch that scene, it's funny as fuck. But it's like that's right now. It's like, we don't have to try anymore. Don't phase us, you can't, the toxic haters who are the real cult against us, they can't hurt us. No one can hurt us now. We've done good, it's recognized, and we have more good to do, so we just keep to it. I want to try and put more content out and do more things with whatever platform I have wrestling, video, or whatever. I just want to keep getting positive content out, because like what you said before, you don't want another 2016 happen again with BBS.
Right. And I'm just gonna say, like, it's weird to me. It's kind of what you were saying right now kind of got me thinking about, like, what's this feeling that we're feeling? And that, like you said, it's overwhelming. What I feel is that a weight of like constant fighting, stress, you know what I'm saying? All that type of thing, the unknowing, that shit's replaced with the weight of love. Like, that's what we're feeling. It's like, it's overwhelming, but it's good though. It's a good weight to have on our shoulders. We just got a different weight. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Yeah,
because no one can take our #1 contendership away from going to the prize. No one can. It's set. We have a date. It's like, oh shoot, are you gonna ride till the wedding? Hell fucking yeah! And then there you go.
yeah. And then another thing too, facts defend themselves. So that's what I'm saying. We don't have to say shit else. We can say our little shit if we want to, but it doesn't need to be like going in like there's no more war. There's no more war.
The stress is gone.
Right, but we do need to be an example to other people that want to fight for artistic integrity and stuff like that. So like you said, we still have like an honor to uphold, because
but I want to interject there because that honor you're speaking of, it is my understanding that has never been a temporary factor. It's not just trying to get this. Well, what Release the Snyder Cut stands for, the charity, artistic integrity, making sure this stuff doesn't happen again, and awareness for the loss, that I felt that's like a lifetime commitment. Movie comes out, movies in our collection and whatever. To my understanding, it's a lifelong commitment. It's like a dedication, So,
exactly.
A code of honor. It doesn't go away. Yes. You're not just trying to get fame and then talk about, the next Star Wars trilogy. You're not going to do one of those. You're just going to keep following what we're doing. We're always going to be there for AFSP, and we always should be.
Yes. And I'm gonna say another thing too. I hope y'all understand that this right here reset Hollywood. Like, it's a different thing now. It's a whole different thing now. Like, and so I'm just letting y'all know that we got a responsibility on that end as well. Like, bro, we don't have the money that they got, but we got the power that they wish they had. You know what I'm saying?
It's an absolute defiance of that whole, it's the way Hollywood's always been, so we have to just deal with it instead of us being the demand, saying we want a certain supply, and they can't just breeze past us because they think we're robots and will buy anything and everything just because they say so.
Correct. Especially when technology is changing and turning everything more in our hands, you know, the digital era, apps and all this stuff and we own online. So that it's like they're coming into our territory. So they gotta wake up.
Yeah, hey, remember Terminator Salvation? Remember remember like how listen, remember how they used the machine, you know, a cyborg to help them beat the cyborgs? That's us with AI right now. That's us with algorithms. We done took their shit and then fired it back at them, using it for good instead of evil.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we had to do it like together. Like the precedent has been set. Like even directors, you'll notice like that whole Manigault thing and different directors who are very out of the loop. Like they always say like, well, he's probably moved on because their experience has said, well, they don't have power, so might as well give up. And honestly, like, you know, like maybe Zach was in that kind of place when it happened. But the fact is, like, we did something that to Hollywood we're not supposed to do. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to unite together and make our voices heard. We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be able to like make that kind of wave. That's not allowed.
Yeah, we cracked the fucking program. Hey, listen, just think about it. Think about it. All the directors from here out will be doing shit because we fucking made it okay for them to do it. Think of the power in that, bro. Listen. Do you feel this shit? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm fucking saying? Nigga, do you understand what the fuck I'm saying, nigga?
Whoa, bro.
We did it.
Corbin,
Corbin. We're just caught in the moment, man. We're pinching something.
Corbin, listen, though. You got to chill. Bro. Because...
I'm good. That was my outburst. That's my, you know, go Snyder Cut thing. I'm done.
All right,
you get only one, and that was it.
Hey, here's Corbin.
Right.
Corbin,
wait. I gotta finish one thing.
Hold on. I want to brand Corbin. I want to brand Corbin a new nickname. Corbin is the RoundTable killer. He is the bowling ball that dropped on the table and broke that shit. And that's just who the fuck you are. Just who you are, though.
But I came with some good shit right before I wigged out.
Maybe.
It was real, though. It was real.
All right, check this out. I want Koj to finish his point, but then we got to get in 44 because he hasn't said anything in a minute.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yo, Vinaldo, this is you, man. I'm happy you're back, and you sound at peace and de-stressed. I'd love to hear that, bro, because last time I was talking to you, I was hoping you would find peace, and, you know, you feel good, right, bro?
All good. Thank you.
Bless. That's all amazing. Love you, man, and, yo, just accept my follow. Something happened there. I don't know what happened.
Wow. Really? But you gonna tell me to calm down.
My bad, Corbin.
Whatever.
My bad, Corbin.
So now's your opportunity. You've got a 1 hour window to follow me while I'm open.
Oh.
I'm not on private anymore.
Hey,
that's
check
a window. Thank you, brother.
I honestly don't look at those things, the requests, because I've had a few incidents, let's say.
Understandable. I just don't know how else to talk to you when I miss you.
Yeah, man.
Shut up, guys.
Wow. Hold up. Why come you ain't telling him to calm down? What the fuck?
Alright, calm down.
Let me ask you a question, Koj.
Yeah, what's up?
Who is your favorite wrestler of all time, and what is your favorite wrestling storyline of all time?
It would have to be, because this brought me and my sister together after losing CM Punk. It has to be Asuka, also known as Kana. Her storyline of her being undefeated in NXT and just being a force to reckon with. That still gets my heart pumping, and I still rewatch it every now and then. So definitely that one.
Okay, that's your favorite character, yeah?
No, that's the favorite storyline.
Oh, storyline.
Yeah.
Charlotte at WrestleMania 34?
Yeah.
Except for the ending, I liked a lot.
Yes, that was a good match, but she keeps losing to Charlotte. I don't like that. But anyways, favorite wrestler.
Nacho Libre.
Dang, this is deep, bro. This is deep. Actually, okay, I'll go with Pentagon Jr.
Ooh.
Because I love AEW and what it stands for. In a way, artistic integrity. AEW is, that is the Snyder Cut of pro wrestling, and that has been released. So that amped me up. Besides, pro wrestling is my platform. Y'all see my signs. So I love AEW and I love Lucha Libre, but I love how that guy is also hard hitting too. He doesn't just fly. He has like a kind of like a martial arts Undertaker style. So I just love he's well-rounded and vicious, and he don't give up. Cielo miedo. So I'll go with Pentagon Jr.
So I'm gonna show my age here. So my favorite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Three. I'm with you.
Right?
Yo, I was with The Rock on that side.
Yeah, 10.
Nation domination, bro.
And my favorite storyline, which started, I consider it having started at WrestleMania 13, Austin versus Bret Hart, but it actually evolved into Austin versus McMahon, and it went from that match versus Bret Hart, which was incredible, where he really became the anti-hero, really the first ever anti-hero of professional wrestling, all the way through until he left. And that was, for me, I watched that 3-4 year period of wrestling every year. Without a doubt, I'll go on there and I'll rewatch that. It's some of the best, most hilarious TV that you've ever seen in your life.
Yo, Chris.
Yeah.
You know that Stone Cold Steve Austin makes an IPA now, and I'm gonna throw this out there. You and I are gonna split a 6-pack one day. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You know,
I'm buying it.
I would love to do that because I listened to his podcast, and he's a really cool dude. You know, he's a really
very smart.
Yeah, he is.
Very good storyteller.
Yeah.
Bret Hart was my favorite.
I got you, bro. I'm buying that 6-pack.
All in.
All right.
All in.
So,
Hey, listen, can I say one thing real quick, just real fast? Like I'm talking about 2 minutes. Listen, I've been having this. Listen. I've been having
minutes.
Let me say something really quick. I only need half an hour.
Right. May as well. But listen, I've been having this All of God shirt for like 8 months, probably 9 months. And I was like, I'm not wearing it until something gets announced, like the end is in sight. And I cracked it open today and wore this shit. So this is the first time I'm wearing the shirt. Yeah. So this is really crazy.
I'm wearing the Flash T-shirt that I wore the night that I went to Justice League.
Wow.
I saw that. I thought I'll put my Flash shirt on. I'm gonna see my second favorite character of all time. My favorite is Batman. My second favorite is Barry Allen Flash, not Wally West Flash. I thought I'm gonna see Barry Allen for the first time on a big screen in a feature-length film with a crucial role. And I went there and I saw Dostoevsky, and that was it.
Forgot about that.
That hurt, man. That hurt.
Today you fixed that shirt.
I'm wearing that T-shirt today to wash away the sins that were put on it.
That shirt got fixed. That shirt got fixed.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it back to Peely because I think that he's trying to hand it to 44 for the last 40 hours.
He's great jumping.
We've been trying to, but Corbin has something to say every time 44 needs to talk. It's just funny. But no, I don't want to get it. No, I do want to get it to 44. But 44, after I get you talking, homeboy Vinalda, I want to talk Fiona after 44 says something. But 44, while we're in here, I did have a question for you, and believe it or not, it is about Harley Quinn. But that bullshit.
Here we go.
I mean,
I'm gonna go let my dog down.
Tequila.
I gotta ask you, dog. What was that shit with the cartoon and the little guy in the mom's basement and all that? If they knew the movie was coming out, what was that? Just like a sneak diss, or what was that?
No, in my opinion, I felt like they were just generalizing. I feel like it was just a generalization of, you feel what I mean, modern fandoms. And also, people at the time when it first came out, they kind of lied to us and misconstrued it, and we were actually right. You know, because the creator came out and said that at the end of the day, the joke is not really on the fans. It's really about how fans like us, at the end of the day, as much as we criticize shit, eventually, along the lines, we're still gonna watch these movies. Like, I may fry Birds of Prey into the ground, but who knows? 5 years from now, I might fucking watch Birds of Prey. So they're right. He was right on that point, because fans do be coming like that. But it wasn't anything that was directed towards like Snyder Cut fans, I feel. And he said it was. It was really about just fandoms in general and how fans come. Like, even like how Star Wars fans will shit on the new Star Wars movie and then go to the theaters and watch the new Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? Like,
You've got to remember that they would have known that this film is coming out.
Right. That's why I asked. Why would they do that if they got that insider information? Where were they just? I don't know.
Well, I want to throw in there like WB is actually known. Like, WB is actually known for its different departments not talking to each other. So it's also mad possible that they didn't even know that this was happening until afterwards.
Having worked in animation, that is very possible.
That's what they said. They said that they apparently said that they just put it in and nobody said anything. Wow. Because those guys were tweeting back at us. They were like, "Oh yeah, like it's nice that you guys took it so well. Like we just put it in. We thought they were gonna take it out and nobody said anything, so it went to print."
Yo, Philly, I know you want to get started talking about Fiona, and I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but I have a question to ask to everyone. So, what do you guys think about possible backlash coming towards the movement? Like, I know that today it's a lot of love and a lot of people thanking us and like praising us for what we did and stuff. But do you guys see a potential backlash against the movement?
In what way?
Right.
Like every way, probably.
Like none of us have bodies on us. We're not stealing.
No, but again, this like I think you guys mentioned it. This changes Hollywood. This changes the way things are going to take place. We're taking power away from one group and giving it to another. And most people that want to hold on to their power don't respond to that very well.
So they're going to try to take it back.
Well, then
I have one. I mean, so right now, like I keep talking about where we are in film in general. Like we're in a point where when COVID-19 got into like April, right? When we were like talking about where do we get to when we open? And we actually brought it up on Go Deep. Like we were talking about like how the fuck does Wonder Woman even open? Like Wonder Woman, they can't move it, right? So they're gonna have to open it in the middle of the summer, the end of the summer. They're gonna have to be guinea pigs to this whole like new situation of like social distancing and whatever. Like they're not gonna make the money that they wanted to make off that movie, even if it was the best fucking movie ever. They're not gonna do it, right? So I think that we're at a place where like this whole conversation is going to end up like involving like what we did, because like studios wanted to shift this whole like they were in the like they did it. They shifted to basically all the movies that were coming out were movies by committee. Like we were there. Like we were at the precipice of that. And then the Snyder Cut changes that, but the Snyder Cut is not a studio movie. It's coming out on HBO Max. So I don't know.
I think the conversation.
I want to ask something if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I just want to think, we got a bunch of people here. How do you guys feel about the fact that pretty much today, everything, we've all been talking about for years and everything, pretty much all turned out to be true? Like, how does that feel?
Right.
I always knew it was true.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. We had.
But I think, of course, you always knew it was true. But now you see the fucking writing about it on Variety. You feel what I mean? They're writing about it on Hollywood Reporter. And now journalists and bloggers are all coming in. Like, even people are openly shitting on Jeff Johns now and Joss Whedon. All things that, you know what I mean, we were ridiculed for years. You feel what I mean? All that we were called conspiracy theorists and called fucking idiots and, you feel me, called toxic and all types of things, you know, for a long time. And now they're just talking about this shit like it's common knowledge.
I mean, but we knew that was gonna happen.
I think that affects some people. It doesn't affect other people. Like, I don't think that's a judgment of who you are. Me personally, like, I didn't really.
I mean, like, visually, like, what do you guys think about that? Like, you know,
I have a quick answer.
It's about time.
Right.
All right. I'll petition it this way then. 44. Like, I think that there were certain journalists that I listened to and didn't listen to, and all that happened after this was that I know I'm very happy in the choices that I made, and I will be going forward in them. I'm going to listen to the people that I listen to, and like those are the people that, like, you know, I put faith in respecting them, and I was like, no, these are the dudes that are actually doing their due diligence. Now we know for a fact without any fucking, like, there's no way to, like, all right, they got one scoop right. There's none of that. Like, there were certain people that were just making shit up, and like that is fact now. Like, that is fucking cemented.
I want to add to that. I don't think that a lot of people were making shit up. I do think that there was a disinformation campaign that was taking place. I think that WB were trying to get people off of the scent of this thing. I think they were out there. They were sending wrong information. I think a lot of bloggers said the things they did and the way that they did it, as smug as they did it, because they spoke to somebody at WB who told them straight out, you know, this is what's up.
Like that Mark article.
I had a conversation, a back and forth with John Campier. I think it was on the 25th, you know, near the first week after Justice League came out in theaters, and I had already sniffed that, you know, this is not, you know, that there is a director's cut. Now I didn't know it for sure until Fiona mentioned it publicly. Yeah, publicly she mentioned it. But I was convinced because, first of all, the image that Zach had shared, I think it was down at CO3 with Stefan, and that is a digital suite where you give your film the final look. So I was convinced at that point that there was a film that was pretty much done. So I had a back and forth with John Campier, and he was telling me that, no, I don't know what your sources are saying, but I have a friend who is a producer on the film. Now, do I think he's a liar for clout? I like to believe the best in people. So I wouldn't think he was a liar. I think, to back up what Manu was saying, I would think that he'd been told that by a producer on the film. But the producer was lying. Now, who that producer is, I mean, you can look at the list of producers and you can pretty much guess.
They're going to
do they wear a cap?
I think it's very interesting. If you look at the list of producers for the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, there's a name that's missing from that list.
Damn.
Wow.
So check this out. Hold on. Let me get Ben W, because he's on the front line of all of these blue checks, of all of these fucking campaigns coming out against us. Ben W hits them first. Ben, how do you feel about it? What they've been saying is like a coordinated campaign against us, or a smear campaign forever against us. What do you think?
It 100% is. I heard you guys talking to, I think, Sean O'Connell yesterday, and he wasn't convinced. But how does he explain the Wall Street Journal campaign?
Yep.
And
that Ben Fritz got a promotion the next day.
Yeah. And then there's been so many disinformation campaigns coming out, and they come from anonymous sources all the time, and you hear them from like Film Junkie and Garza, and they just want to, I don't know, they just want to piss on everything, all our parades and everything that we're working towards. It's all trying to discourage us from keep going. But it's just obvious to me, and Billy, you called it out a long time ago with Jeff Johns, and honestly, I was a little bit skeptical back then, but not at all anymore. Like, there's a lot of ego in this game, and of course, there's going to be people trying to wage battles behind the scenes to save their name, save face. So,
I mean, you go back to Vinaldo's Twitter thread where he laid out it always comes back, doesn't it? The letter V. That thread about the selection of comic writers rather, who wanted to write for would become Man of Steel, and Jeff Johns was one of them, and there was another one, I think maybe Mark Millar.
Yeah,
and then like Nolan pulled a power move and was like, yeah, nah, we're doing Zack Snyder. And we're bringing my boy David Goyer.
Yeah, he picked David Goyer to write it, yeah.
And you want to like it rubbed them the wrong way.
But you brought up the comic book writers, and I think that it's really interesting that I have never seen comic book writers talk about movie adaptations the way that these guys were talking about BVS. Like, I had never seen that before.
Yeah,
like,
that threw me off.
Yeah.
So, I agree with that.
So was that an accident as well? Did that just happen to happen?
You gotta think about it like this. You got people that work for DC shitting on DC films. That's never happened.
Yep.
Because they're in their feelings, basically.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They want to join. They don't really respect the medium of comics, like the true art form, like Zach does. They see, like, a lot of people, they got stars in their eyes. They want to pull a Frank Miller, and they want to be able to transition and be able to go back and forth. They figured, hey, I can be like, I'll get my own 300. I'll get my own Watchmen, and then I'll be able to get by with doing maybe one story every 5 years.
They're incestuous whores in the industry, especially in the comic book industry.
Incestuous whores.
Wow.
They are.
Listen.
Because of the revolving door in the business, they think that they can have their cake and eat it too. Like they said, they think they can just do whatever they want with these characters, with these IPs on the paper, and then they can do the same thing in film. Then they can run over here and write books. Then they can come back and still do shit in comic books while not really showing any love or respect to any particular brand or characters. That's why like Japanese anime or Japanese manga is way better. And people always wonder why it's better is because the creators put way more effort and love and depth into a singular work. You got One Piece, for example. One Piece is still going like 1,000 episodes in. You can still get it on manga, the same character. They haven't rebooted. There isn't 1,000 versions. With comic books, you got 1,000 different writers, all writing 1,000 different versions of these characters, then going to Marvel, writing 1,000 different versions of Wolverine, then going back to DC, writing Captain America, then writing Superman, then going to Marvel, writing Captain America. It's very incestuous and it's very harsh if you really think about it from a business sense. And then you got people trying to bring that same mentality into the film industry. And it's
interesting you said that, because when you say that, it gives me the impression of them as being, like, you hear the term career politicians, right? So people who are just there to pick up the paycheck, they know the basics, they do the bare minimum to keep their job. And every 4 years or 5 years, however long your election cycle is, they all of a sudden care about the people that are voting for them. And you never see them in the time in between. So I'm just thinking if there's a parallel to be drawn there, like career comic book writers or career comic book artists who are just there to pick up the paycheck, and maybe they did have love for the art form when they started out, just like I'm sure career politicians did have love for service, let's say, or particular policy position when they started out, but eventually you become part of the system. Become desensitized to the art of storytelling. Like, are you writing this comic book because you have a story to tell, or because your contract says that you have to write a comic book? And that is quite interesting to me.
Right.
Yeah, that was a really good point though. 44, you really hit shit on the head.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's honestly like some kind of like a cultural difference. You know what I'm saying as well.
Well, I mean, the thing with like
always brings up, the hero's journey, and Joseph Campbell and all that. And as you guys know, Zack Snyder is a big Joseph Campbell guy, as are a lot of creatives and storytellers and everything. But even when we just stick to, the conversation on comics, like, people aren't even really realizing that as we speak, like, they're trying to like rip down, you feel what I mean, the philosophy of Joseph Campbell and the ideas of how, the Joseph Campbell way of writing stories. They believe that it's wrong, and I guess that it's, you feel what I mean, Western bullshit or something that needs to be ripped down. I don't know.
You've got to remember.
They want to get rid of this stuff, and then you have these new type of writers and creators coming in with these different ideologies that we don't really fully understand. But one thing I do know is that they don't like the way the creators before us that we grew up with wrote the stories. They don't like the way George Lucas based Star Wars off the hero's journey, or how Zack Snyder bases his films off the hero's journey. And it's such an odd thing to me, but it's also a thing that even exists in the comic industry too. Like,
you've got to remember, there's not as much money in comics now as there was.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, if you take a filmmaker, take Zack Snyder, he's gone 3 years without making a film, but he's comfortable. He is financially okay. He's not on the breadline. He's not on a homeless shelter. He's okay. He's made money, and so he should. In the comic industry, you can't go 3 years unless you're Frank Miller. You can't go 3 years without writing a story. So what you'll find is that this is from my outsider's perspective. I believe that your everyday writers, like your person who's going to write a Birds of Prey story arc, or a Squirrel Girl story arc, or an X-Men story arc, they have to be there churning out stories day in, day out. Whereas a Frank Miller or a writer who wrote Watchmen, for example, Alan Moore, they don't have to write anything. They write when they have a story to tell.
Gaiman also like that.
Gaiman as well, right? So do I understand why comics have dropped off in quality? Yeah, I do understand. But there's still good comics out there, and we shouldn't tarnish all comic book writers, and because look at and artists. I mean, look at Jim Lee, for example. That guy only produces the best. And he understands where Zack Snyder's coming from. So Zack Snyder will make a film when he has a story to tell. He's not forced financially. So I do feel some sympathy for your everyday comic book artist or writer. But at the end of the day, you don't tear down another man's vision just to get yourself ahead.
Correct.
Yeah, that was misguided on his part. And the thing was, the thing with the comic industry in the U.S., the amount of money, it's been a steady decline, And there's even been some also overseas because like the average comic writer or comic artist, there's only a handful that are actually making a livable wage. And the same goes for mangaka in Japan. There is the amount of people actually making a decent living, like Ichiro Oda, who made One Piece, and the thousands of other mangaka who get like one chapter in Shonen Jump and get kicked out after, is staggering. Like
that's true.
Stories, but there is massive issues in the manga. I mean, same goes from here because a lot of people. Secondly, there are a lot of writers in the U.S.
Manga artists have been worked to death before. Believe me.
Oh yeah, that's doc. Oh yeah, it's animation. Forget about it. Like it's bad. But there's the thing. We'll contrast it with here. There's a lot of writers and artists in comics who have spouses who have we'll say more stable jobs. Think doctors, engineers, lawyers, things of that nature. And these are more the newer than that. Like when you think Marvel art, whose art do you think of when you say Marvel art style?
Jim Lee.
Oh, that's good too, actually. How many say Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
There's there's not a lot of artists that stand out, and there's the Decline of Comics, which they brought on a lot on themselves for like the whole diamond and printing thing. Like the whole one publisher for all comics was a terrible idea all along. But people have come in who aren't like, listen, if you're not down for it, it's not a glamorous lifestyle. It's kind of like American teaching. You have to love it.
In manga too. That's the same thing that happened in manga like years ago, where they started pretty much making all manga the same, and then the style of different art styles kind of like went down in value because all mangas kind of just ended up being the same. So people just didn't care about who was drawing the shit anymore.
Yeah, they were like, you were kind of like, you're not like, they're kind of like, there's like a cultural scare, like, maybe I don't want to draw something that looks like Dragon Ball or One Piece, but, I don't want to starve either. And then you jump over here and it's like, there's like, Marvel and DC are basically R&D right now for Disney and AT&T. Like they're boutique brands, and when that whole crash happened like a month ago, and then comics froze, they're scrambling about to figure out how they can save themselves. And they like to say you talk about backlash for the cut. A big thing I'm predicting people are going to say as well. They're going to discredit the fan effort by saying like, well, it's more of a HBO Max thing. It's more of the media. And I was like, it's a combination of things. And so we should probably brace ourselves for them kind of discrediting our business sense, which we understand business. We understand very well what supply and demand is. And that like we knew about HBO Max and the possibilities like 2 years ago.
Hell yeah. And they all did. Hell yeah. They all did. That's why today when they're like, oh yeah, HBO Max came out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere. Everybody knew HBO Max. No, I was watching some of these YouTubers, and that was like their basically like their way out. Like of eating crow, like, oh yeah, it's because streaming is here. It just gives like a completely new avenue. But bro, streaming has been here. Right. HBO Max, everybody knew about HBO Max for years. Like,
But we hadn't been here, but we wasn't here. That's the difference.
Right. Man, we were here in 2016 when BVS came out.
Oh wow.
Forget about it. Like,
yeah,
we'd be on Justice League 2 already.
Right. Yep. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. That hurts. Supposed to come out already.
Right. But let me ask you this.
It actually shouldn't hurt you because now it's just going to be way more better.
Hold on.
There's no inclusion from the studio execs.
Right. Let me ask you this though. I was just talking about Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. A big part on the hero's journey is kind of like saving the princess, slaying the dragon and saving the princess. And I wanted to bring up our princess Fiona. And we've all kind of had to slay a dragon to save her. Queen Fiona. Queen. So check this out. She's in all of our Joseph Campbell hero's journey. And she came out today. She said some shit. And it was kind of like we all slayed the dragon to save the queen, not just the princess. But I gained a shit ton of respect when I heard how this one dude rides for the queen. I was like, yo, we're some assholes and this dude is cool. I'm bringing in Vinaldo again because, yo, Vinaldo, when I heard you on that phone call, I told all my homies, I haven't told you yet, probably, but you gain my respect just by talking about Fiona, because Fiona brought me into this shit, and I kind of forgot about her, dog. Maybe my head got big, or I don't know, maybe the people I was fucking with, I don't know, but when I heard you talk about her, I was like, yo, because there's a saying that says, you can tell everything by a man by if his woman is happy, and not just his girlfriend, or it could be his mama, it could be his daughter, his aunt, or whatever. But how you held it down for Fiona against people who was kind of trying to make it like Fiona don't even exist is very admirable, dog. So I'm gonna bring you in and you talk about our queen, who we had to slay the dragon for. Give the crowd a little bit of something of who Fiona is and what you've been doing with her. Fernando.
He burnt out. Fernando burnt out.
I'm talking to Fernando.
Did Jeff Johns get to him? What happened?
Is he in Michigan?
Oh shit.
Jeff Johns got to him.
All right. So
Because like mad respect, like absolutely, like it's like I would periodically check her Twitter to see if she's back. And I'd see the little best of tweet thing when someone's gone, like she'll be back.
Yeah.
I just peek in every so often, and it's like she will return.
Right? Yeah.
I do too, man. Just to see her little face is just like a little Asian girl's face with big eyes, and I don't even know what the fuck she said. I just like, all right, whatever. Retweet.
I love this stream earlier today. You gave her a good shout out.
Yeah.
So
Man.
out to Abu Nas too.
Yeah.
And knowing the truth and all that. Praising the goddess and shit.
Right.
Yeah, just like she's like, it's, you know, the thing is she shows no hubris. Okay, so like when Zach has a note, she would say Zach says X, Y, and Z. You know, she felt more like a messenger than like a flex. You know what I mean? She wasn't the gatekeeper. She would share information gleefully. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when she got that director's chair banner, like no one was even bothered because they're just like, she shares it, so it felt like it was with all of us. I remember one of the things when she came back after like the first, when she was rehabbing her injury. And it's like, she's like, listen, you guys can do this without me. Like, she's that kind of selfless, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it wasn't like, you know, I'm trustworthy because X. It's like, she just is, like a force of nature.
Right.
Yeah. She don't have to try to be because she is. You know?
Exactly.
Right. I think Fernaldo's on mute, but I know Manu knows a lot about Fiona also because we talked.
Oh shit, man! I thought I was. Fucking
wow.
So, no. That's still all good.
Ask the question again. Ask the question.
No, that's all good. Tell us something about Fiona because, like I said, I know you wrote real hard for her, and I think you might know why more than anybody in the whole movement, even though we all love her and shit like that. Tell us something about her and tell us what attracted you so much to ride for her like that.
I mean, Fiona's my sis, man. She's like I was looking at the first campaign that we did. Like, what date is it today? Like, we're at the 20th of May, right? And I think Zach announced that he would do the live stream on the 17th, right? And I look, 17th. 17th is the date that we did our first online campaign. We did that together, and that was in May 17th in 2018. So it's been 2 years to the day almost.
Right.
And it's like, you know, you have an admiration for the person because from the outside, you think, okay, this is the person with the connection to Zack Snyder. They have shared messages of Zack with us and of us with Zack. She is our bridge. She is our backbone. But then when you get to meet or get to know the person, it's you you see a completely different side. And someone asked me today, like, or I was talking to someone today or yesterday, like, what is she actually like? And, you know, I've always considered the female version of me. Like, don't get on her wrong side. She will mess you up, man. Like, she ain't afraid to speak her mind. She's, you know, when Zach said you're powerful in anything, that wasn't no accident. Like, she won't take shit from no one. That's the Fiona I know, but she's also a very selfless person who has given up her anonymity, her privacy, herself, really, for all of us. Before this whole thing, she could just get on Twitter and say whatever she wanted. It wouldn't be a big deal. But since everything happened, and she became the icon that she is, you know, she can't say anything like without having people like that prick. What's his name? Scarface.
Humberto?
Yeah, that fucking. I'll tell it to his face, that fucking loser. Putting her on blast, calling her a crazy person.
Oh wow!
I remember that.
Like who the fuck do you think you are? Like you've got this platform. You've got thousands of followers, and you're bullying a young woman. Like who do you think you are? You're a bully. You know, so she gave up her anonymity and her herself, really, for all of us. So apart from being the sassy, the kind of cool individual that I know behind closed doors, she made an enormous sacrifice. So she's very selfless as well. That's the Fiona I know, and I think Manu would back me up on that.
I mean, everything you just said, I said the last time I was on Go Deep. I said the same thing, like almost word for word.
It's dope. It's real.
I love Fiona, man.
She's spectacular. Like I like I said the last time, like I knew Fiona before this whole thing started. You know,
what?
I knew Fiona. I mean. Like we've been in a group chat together since like 2016, since like the BVS wars. I've known her since back then. What'd you say?
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I've known her since back then, and V's right. Like she had to stop being who she was. Like she had to stop going on the timeline and fighting with people. She had to stop, she just had to take everything on the chin. And it wasn't always easy for her, like sometimes she wanted to talk back, she wanted to fight back, but she knew that everything that she did was going to get blown up, like to humongous proportions. So she held herself back. She stopped being who she was. And
do you remember when she said that she heard the ending of Endgame?
Oh God!
Infinity War.
Oh wow!
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember too. I remember.
And not only did MCU fans attack her.
Yep.
DC fans attacked her.
Oh God!
The person who fought for them.
Yep.
And continues to fight for them. They turned on her.
Yeah, so the same thing happened when she said that she was just thinking about, the nonprofit thing. You and I have talked about that. She didn't even say she was gonna do it. She was just brainstorming, and they just went at her like she stole something. Like it was ridiculous.
It was the book post. It was like the image with like two books she used, because she was always reading. She moves like an intellectual. And it's like, it was a thought too big for little minds at the time.
Right.
And now all of a sudden,
I can tell you we needed it.
Oh yeah.
We needed it.
Yeah.
Think about all the money that has passed through our hands.
Right.
We're talking about thousands, and we'll Will Rowlands has had an enormous burden with all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of cash being put through him. You know, heaven forbid anything went wrong.
Right. No, and I could attest to that because he's very dedicated on that. And I helped him on like the FA Cup as treasurer.
Do you know?
It's true. Will Rowlands works his ass off.
Do you know?
You talk about you talk about the vultures. You talk about the vultures like waiting for anything to possibly go wrong with that.
Exactly. So the idea for a non-for-profit would have removed all of that risk from people like Will and people like you, Koji, and for example, for the FA Cup thing, I had to pay that up front because there was no guarantee like we would get that slot. So I paid £2,500, which is around I don't know, about $3,000 or whatever from my own cash before we even set up the GoFundMe to make sure that I got it.
I speculated that.
And let me tell y'all, he did not sleep.
Yes.
He didn't sleep, and like it's not even about getting his money back though. What he was worried about the most was, like we put up all of this money into this. He was worried that the thing was not gonna get caught on the camera. He was worried that like we would not be seen on the camera, that it would pass through, but that it would be on the wrong side, or that we wouldn't be on camera for long. So he was terrified of that.
To bring it back is that non-for-profit would have eliminated all of this risk from me, from Will, from every person who has had to handle these enormous amounts of money.
Not just that. Like, even you and I have talked about events that we could have done much more smoothly, or like in a much bigger way if we had something like that set up.
So a non-for-profit was ahead of its time, but she got ridiculed, and she was actually the only one who had the right idea.
I think what also she did, and maybe all of you tangent realize what I think there was a lot of, on a personal level, my observation, there's a lot of shyness. Like a lot of people were like, the very concept, because if you remember like the phone call campaign, you remember this would be the first one, and she had to post they were calling, and people were nervous because, talking in text is one thing, writing a letter is another thing, and talking on the phone, especially when like a lot of people have phone anxiety, a lot of people, because of these events, have come out of their shell personally and been able to do personal video themselves when they may have before felt very self-conscious for a variety of reasons. And these things were necessary. They were necessary for us to get us to be more confident about ourselves and trust each other in order for these things to work.
And she had the faith, in me to do that. When I brought it to her, I said, listen, I've got this idea. I think this is what we need to do. We need to make ourselves heard. They've seen our writing, they've seen our text, but they need to know that there's a person behind it,
Sorry to cut you off, but to add, also at that time, WB thought we were all bots, to be honest. At that time, we did think we were all bots. That's why.
We're all white males. There's that.
And then
NBC.
Yeah, and then when she
white males.
I mean, is there anyone white here? Dustin.
Ben
and Dustin.
Ben murked out. He murked out.
I mean, Dustin's still in the wing.
This is coming.
Did you guys forget Dustin?
Ben is right there. He's still here.
But no, I brought it to her, and she had the faith in the idea. She had the faith in me, and she said, I'll post it out because I can take the abuse. I can take the ridicule. You know, if I come out with it, Chris, who back then had 300 followers, you know, came out with this idea, everyone was like, nah, no thanks, we're not interested. But she took it and she put it to the forefront. She had the faith, and yeah, she did that. I remember one interaction she had with I don't know his name, but Imperious Lex, who is a friend of hers, who I believe was a friend of hers at the time, probably still is. He had reservations about it, that it's a bad idea, that we're gonna think that they're gonna think we're harassing them, and I completely respect that point of view. That was a point of view that I had thought of, though, that we're not just going to go haphazard 500 phone calls, 5,000 phone calls and block their lines. No, it was intentional that it would be 3 a day, a few hours space between, and, you know, continuous for a month. Let them know who we are. Different person every time. And thankfully, we found 40 people who were willing to make phone calls.
They're 40.
That was when the infamous tweet came out.
They're 40.
Tweet about 40
I
people.
want to add to that. You mentioned, somebody mentioned earlier about you know, the nerves, and I was one of those people that made a call, and I remember I was nervous as fuck. Like you said, it was one thing to be on your Twitter account and say release the Snyder Cut. It's a completely other thing to call somebody at Warner Brothers and be like, can you guys release the Snyder Cut? Like, yeah, because you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what response you're gonna get.
Right. There's two stories. There's one from me and there's one from Ben that you need to hear. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and get mine out of the way. It was we planned it all. We put out the flyers with the application form, let's say, to find interested parties, and we found everyone. And I'd had the numbers for a while, but I hadn't tested it. Right, so I thought, okay, I think we started on the Monday, so on the Thursday or the Wednesday before, I thought, okay, it's probably a good time to test that this actually works. And I called up and I had no idea what was going to happen. I just called the number. I got through to a operator. I said, you know, can we get through to, I think I asked the Toby Emmerich's personal assistant. And he was like, yeah, no problem whatsoever. And I'm like, oh, and then it's like, that easy. And not even a question of like, who are you or where are you from or nothing. It was just like, yeah, okay. Like, all right, cool.
That was a British accent.
And she answered. And I was like, are you Toby Emmerich's personal assistant? She's like, yeah, how can I help you? I was like, oh, I'm just calling from the UK. I'm a big Zack Snyder fan, and I was just hoping that you might consider asking your boss to release the Snyder Cut. And she was like, yeah, I'll make a note of that and whatever. Now, whether she did or not is neither here nor there. It's completely irrelevant. But it's the fact that someone in that building knows that, and maybe she didn't tell him after the first one, but I can guarantee you after the 50th, he knew about it, and that was the issue. So that was the plan. It's like, maybe they don't answer my call, maybe they don't answer Manu's, maybe they don't answer Adrian's, maybe they don't answer Ben.
Number 40 called, they knew.
Exactly.
I think that's something that people forget. Like when we are where we are, but people kind of forget that like there was this battle about like just knowing we existed, like just knowing that we weren't some Russian bot campaign. We weren't what the fuck anybody was called. We weren't like these random 10 people that bought some Fiverr shit that were just like getting like tweets out. Like no, it was a lot of people, and you know, there's a lot of things that like happen. I think out of all those, like I always call back to Barry's fucking video campaign, like looking at that video and seeing everyone. That was fucking amazing. Amazing.
But before we get to that, they started blocking. They started telling the operators, don't put these callers through. Ask them what they want, make sure. And then Ben the Legend has the best story. And I lived it live with him. Like, he needs to say this story because it was just magnificent. Like, how he came up with it was just out of this world.
Well, thank you, but I have to thank you first. You did a great job walking me through it and like calming me down a little bit because I was a little bit nervous. I actually, I was at work and I took a break and I walked out to my car to do this. And so I call the operators and I asked them if I can talk to Toby Emmerich assistant, like Chris told me to. And they needed to know like why. And so they kept asking me why. And I was like, well, it's a legal issue. And then they put me on hold for like, 10 minutes. I think Chris told me to say that too. Yeah. And so they put me on hold for like 5-10 minutes. And then I finally got back with them. And they said like, okay, well, we don't think you should need to talk to them. You can talk to our legal department. And so I was like, oh shit. And so they just immediately transferred me without me being able to say anything else. And so I get over to legal and I'm kind of thinking to myself like, well, they probably haven't been warned about this whole call campaign, so maybe they don't know. So then I was like, hey, I think I got transferred to the wrong place. Could you transfer me to Toby Emmerich's assistant's office? And they're like, oh yeah, sure.
They kicked it right back.
And so I got over there, and I could tell his assistant was a little bit stressed, I guess, because she's gotten already a few calls. But anyway, yeah, I was like, is this Toby Emmerich's assistant's office? She's like, yep. I was like, cool. Can I leave a message for Toby Emmerich about Zack Snyder's Release the Snyder Cut? She's like, yep. And then she's just transferred me to the voicemail. So
damn, you got right back in.
We're at 193,000 for our trending right now. So we're almost at 200,000.
Damn.
Right now.
Wow. And we chilling.
I didn't even tweet.
Yeah, we're all here.
That's not tweeting, so.
I didn't even tweet yet.
Wow. Yeah, we did it. We fucking did it.
Yo.
Hit 214.
Let me ask y'all something real quick. Whoever can jump in. But recently, me and my dog Gio was on the Lightcast podcast.